right. Hello. Hello, Jasper. Okay, hello, hello, hello. I am here. If you have questions, you should ask me your questions. That's why it's called Ask Teacher Mark. That's me. Ask me your questions. I only have 1 hour today. I have less than 1 hour today because I have to go teach. I have some private lessons to teach. So, if you have questions, you should ask because I only have limited time. As we all do in life. Hello, Sebastian. Thank you. Hola. Gracias. I love it when I have to just sit here and be like, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Today is November 13th, 2025. Hello, Norman. Thank you, Sebastian. Appreciate the compliment. Hello, Flavia. Thank you very much. Like the Peaky Blinders. Well, kind of, yeah. It's called an Irish flat cap. So it's an Irish style of hat, and the Peaky Blinders they're Irish boys. And I'm a little bit Irish myself. Okay, well, again, if you have questions, you... Hello, lava. Wow, slow day today. Slow day, guys. Come on. I'm waiting for your questions. Impress me with your questions. Impress me with your questions. Make me say, wow, that's a good question. If you say, how can I be good in English, that doesn't impress me. Impress me! Still no one? Hello, Rose. Hello, Peter. Hello, Zoe. Hello, Jasper and Mean and Jason. Hello, Lucky Girl. Hello, Hadil. And Elvin and Mana and Sebastian and Norman and Anna Triana. I like that name. And Fang and Lava and Edouard and Nadia and Hajar and Jack. Hello. Are sausages and hot dogs the same thing? No. Hot dog is a kind of sausage. Sausage is the general word for any kind of meat that is stuffed into a casing. It's called a casing. Sometimes it's a natural casing made of intestine, and sometimes it's a fake plastic casing. But sausages can be pork, they can be beef, they can be chicken, they can be any meat pretty much. Right? There's lots of different kinds of sausage. There are hundreds of different kinds of sausage around the world. Okay? And a hot dog is one kind. Okay? It's just one kind. Thank you, Min. Thank you for the gifts, Hadil. Thank you very much. Is rejoice a common word? It's a common word in religious groups, right? So if you go to church, you'll hear the word rejoice all the time. It's a religious word from the Bible, right? So if you go to church, you'll hear the word rejoice. But outside of church, again, maybe in Christmas, right? Because it's the birth of Christ, right? So conversations, no, it's not a very common word. Have I watched Sense8? I think I did. The name sounds familiar, but I cannot remember what it was about. It was about some sort of like a paranormal kind of a thing where you have superpowers or something like that. Was it? Intestines stuffed with rice. Right. They have a rice sausage also in Asia. Yeah. Usually sausage means it's stuffed with some kind of meat like chicken, beef, lamb, pork, or some combination of them with spices. A lot of spices go into sausages. There are many, many flavors of sausages. I love sausages. I love them. So, yeah. Hello, Bazoo. 8 people connect all over the world. Yeah, I think I saw it, Flavia, but I can't really remember it. It's not that new, is it? It was a while ago, wasn't it? I think. V60, I love you too. That's why I removed you from the room. If you love me, then why do you annoy me? Hello, Baram. I'm fine. Good morning, Miguel. How are you? Tough love indeed. Yes, it's morning. It's 8:50 a.m. What is my favorite landmark? I'm gonna probably have to say the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is... When you see the Grand Canyon, then you finally understand the word awesome, and you finally understand the word spectacular. It's just... It's the biggest thing you've ever seen in your life. So it's just... shocking, almost. Yeah, it makes you feel small. Yeah, but it's just you see how big it is, and you see how old it is, and it really does make you stop and think. So yeah, the Grand Canyon is pretty spectacular. What's the difference between snobbish, snooty, and stuck up? Again, Miriam, remember in English there are not always differences. Sometimes there are differences, or sometimes the differences are very subtle. Okay, so for example, snobbish is the same as snobby. To be a snob. S-N-O-B. A snob is a person who you think... they think too much of themselves, right? They think they know everything. They think they're better than you. Okay? They only like good things, right? So you want to eat some pizza at this place, but they say, I can't eat there. That's garbage, you know? But they say that about every place. You know, no, that's garbage. No, that's garbage. That's garbage. No, there's only one good place. That's a snob. Okay, that's a snob. To be snooty is like snobby. I think it's a little softer, right? So if I say he's a bit snooty, that's not as bad as saying snobby or snobbish. I think it's implying that they have some of that quality, but maybe not strongly. Okay? And stuck up is conceited. To be stuck up is to be conceited. Okay? Where do I live? I live on Earth. Where do you live? I live in Ohio. It's a word that comes from an old Indian, Native American Indian dialect. And the word Ohio means beautiful river or great river, because we have a river called the Ohio River. And Ohio in Japanese means good morning. Ohio. Dima, hello Dima. Thank you. Oh wow, thank you. Yeah, I just got this hat, and I've always kind of wanted to wear a flat cap, but I've never tried. I think I was never old enough to wear one, but now I'm old enough to wear one. When you wear one of these when you're too young, you do look snooty. You look snobbish when you're too young if you wear one of these hats, you know. But once you reach my age, I think you can pull it off. Let's see. How can you improve your pronunciation? Kerwin, what is wrong with your pronunciation? What is wrong with it? Hello, Tanya. Good morning. What would I suggest for someone who has an intermediate level of English but wants to improve their understanding of proper English grammar? Right? There are many places that you can study grammar. If you go to my website, afiecenglish.com, go to my website, and there are many links on my website for studying grammar. I can recommend a book that I like a lot. There's a book called Basic English Grammar by Saddleback Publishing. This is my favorite grammar book. I have many grammar books, at least 50, 60, 70 grammar books, but this is the one I use the most often. There's one book called English Grammar in Use. That's the most famous one. That's the most popular one, but it's not my favorite one. I think that English Grammar in Use, one, it's boring. English Grammar in Use is boring. And sometimes English Grammar in Use, the book, it's not, they don't explain things very well. Sometimes the explanations are very difficult or confusing. If you wrote a book and you're trying to explain something, but your explanation needs another book, then you did not write a good explanation. So, yeah. But Basic English Grammar, the book that I recommended, it's simple, it's basic, it's easy, it's actually fun, even, you know? So, yeah. Hello, everyone. What does sophisticated mean? Sophisticated can have a few different meanings. Sometimes sophisticated means classy, like You look like you have education. You look like you have background. You look like you have high interests, right? You're interested in reading about philosophy and about history and about science, and that's a sophisticated person, you know. But it also sometimes means a complicated person or a complicated thing, right? So sometimes sophistication means a little bit complicated, like he reads a lot of history, but he also watches a lot of sports, right? So he has a sophisticated personality. It's a little bit mixed, right? But sophisticated mostly means kind of classy. Okay. Does what need money? Does my website does not need money. No, you have to subscribe. You have to give me an email, but you don't have to pay. The book, to buy Basic English Grammar, yes, you have to buy that. It's a book. You think your pronunciation is not good, so you want to know how to make it standard. Kerwin, don't worry about making it standard. Worry about making it clear. Nobody cares if you sound like you're Chinese. People care if you sound like you're Chinese and they can't understand your English. That's what they care about. So all you need to do is focus on the words or the sounds that are really difficult for you, right? So which sounds are really hard for you in English? Is the TH hard for you? Do you have a good TH? Do you have a good R sound, an American R? Do you have a good L or V sound? Right? Figure that out first. Okay? Raymond Murphy's not bad too. It's okay. It's all right. I have those also, but yeah. Oxford Grammar also okay, but boring and dry. Most of the grammar books are boring and dry. Okay? Hello, G. Thank you. I did not do justice with that book. What do you mean? You mean English grammar in use because I don't like it? If you like it, good for you. I don't like it. I've been teaching a long time and I have many books. And it's not that good. It's frankly, I think it's quite lazy. I think they could have done a far better job than they did. There's one quality that they did not try to do anything about. Grammar is boring. And they did nothing to try to fix that. They did nothing to try to make learning it more interesting in that book at all. So, yeah, I don't like it. Do I have my website link on my profile? Here it is. Here. There's my website. Okay. Let's see. Have I ever heard about the word whatchamacallit? Yeah. It's not old-fashioned, Dima, because that word could have been old-fashioned and could have fallen out of favor, but it hasn't really because of one thing. There's a candy bar in America called whatchamacallit. It's actually one of my favorite candy bars. I love that candy bar. It's yummy. And so because that candy bar has been around for a long time, people still see that word. Every time they go to the grocery store, you see that candy bar there, whatchamacallit. So the word has survived longer than most because it became a popular food item. Okay? And a whatchamacallit is just a funny word that means it's when I can't think of the name, right? We'll say it's, it's a whatchamacallit. What's that whatchamacallit? It means I don't know what's that called. What's it called? Whatchamacallit. Okay, it just means, what do you call that thing? Okay? I was glad to see it was a highly sophisticated hospital is correct. Yeah, that works. Sophisticated could be, in this case, would be a highly trained hospital with good equipment. It would be a sophisticated hospital. In this case, the opposite of this would be kind of like primitive, right? So, or archaic, or maybe substandard. Okay. How about grammar? What about grammar, Haley Lee? What about it? Thank you, Stan. Hello, Jenny. Who invented grammar? Well, every language is grammar. Every language has grammar, and the grammar of each language has developed differently. But English grammar is a mixture of German and Latin grammar mostly, mixed with Old English grammar, right? So English grammar comes from three places, really. Latin, German, and some of its own rules. What's the difference between being frank and being candid? Nothing. Nothing. They're the same thing. He's a very candid person. He's a very frank person. I think, yeah, pretty much interchangeable all the time. Okay? But even if I keep talking without grammar mistakes, I feel shy. Haley, nobody cares about grammar mistakes. Okay? Nobody cares about grammar mistakes. All right? Let me prove it to you. How many of you don't like grammar? How many of you don't like grammar? Life is not a grammar test. Indeed, Norman. You know my words well, Norman. How many people don't like grammar? Come on. Amar, I know you want to come up on stage, but guess what, Amar? Can you tell that I'm talking? Can you see that I'm talking? Can you see that I'm teaching? I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, when somebody is teaching or talking, you don't interrupt them, you wait. Okay? There are 52 people here. They all want to talk to me. Okay? So most people don't like grammar. That's my point. Most people. Yozian he likes grammar, but Jose, he likes grammar, but most people don't like grammar. Okay? So if most people don't like grammar, and most people worry about grammar, then can't we all just agree, hey, we all don't like grammar, so let's just all relax a little bit. It doesn't make any sense that we all hate it, we all worry about it. So why don't we all just recognize that we all hate it and worry about it, and then relax a little bit? Okay? Grammar shouldn't be banned. I'm not saying that. Okay, look, I don't like grammar, but I recognize that you need it. It's the structure of language. It's the structure. And if you understand the structure and the rules, then you can do more with it. You have more powerful magic if you know the structure and the rules. If you don't know the structure and the rules, your language magic is weak. Okay? So maybe you have something really important that you want to say, But if your grammar is really weak, then maybe your really important thing won't sound important. It won't sound good. People won't listen to you because your grammar's not good. So it doesn't matter how important your words might feel, they don't sound good. So that's why grammar is important, because grammar is the magic of language. Grammar is the power of control of language. Okay? I don't like it though. So my point is, don't worry about it. Go ahead and make mistakes. It's fine. Nobody ever died from a grammar mistake. All right? Life is not a grammar test. So, if you worry about grammar, now you have two problems: grammar and worry. I don't want two problems, I just want one. So I won't worry about my grammar. I will think about it, but I won't worry about it. Understand? Okay? Could sophisticated also refer to someone looking, or the way they look or dress? Yes. Yes, sophisticated can have many meanings. And again, if I say he looks sophisticated, it's like classy. It's like a classy kind of a thing, right? You can dress more classy than you look sophisticated. Like you come from a good background and you're well educated and you know things, you know? Okay? Can we use amicable and affable interchangeably? Let me think about that. They're very similar, but I don't think they're exactly the same. Affable is more just likable. Amicable is more like easy to get along with. Let me just check on a couple of things. Wait a minute. Let me look at the history of the word for a moment. Right, so amicable comes from the Latin word amicus, which means friend. Okay? But it means to have friendliness, like you're easy to get along with. So he's amicable means he's friendly, easy to get along with. Affable is more like he makes friends easily. That's a little bit different, right? He's an affable fellow. He's very friendly. He's nice. He's easy to get along with. But amicable is more just not difficult. Okay? Friendly, but in a not difficult kind of a way. All right? However, there are some times when you could use amicable and affable interchangeably. Okay? There are some times. Okay, next question. Amar, if you have a question, why don't you just write your question just like everyone else? Grammar is my passion. That's why I still have so many doubts about speaking. Okay, that's fine. Look, if you like grammar, if that's your thing, good for you. But don't let knowledge of something... Remember that language is a performance. And to be a performer, you have to have some courage. You have to be brave to be a performer. So if you know everything about grammar, that's like knowing all the notes and all the songs, but when you perform, you can't perform them. You know them, but you can't play them in front of people. So remember that grammar is just there to make your performance better. But you're a performer, so perform. Thank you, John Z. I'm pretty sure that we dislike grammar because the way we were taught grammar. That's right. That's a big part of it. But grammar itself has not been updated enough in the last 50 years, even 100 years. Grammar has been too rigid and unchanged in bad ways. There are things about English grammar in particular that could be updated and simplified to be much, much easier to understand for an international audience, but they haven't done it yet. Hello, Andy from Guangzhou. You learned about tenses, direct and indirect, and active voice and passive voice. Now you've forgotten all the rules. So the way it works, everybody, is if you want to understand the rules, you should understand them in conversations or in use, right? So that's why they call that book Grammar in Use. That's the one thing that they're right about, is if you want to understand a rule, don't read the rule, read the sentences that use the rule. Look at the sentences and see how it works and think about it. Don't read the explanation of, because the explanations that they give are almost always too complicated. But if you just pay attention to how it's used, you'll see it and you'll go, all right, I think I understand. If you see how it's used. All right? Okay, I think I finally caught up with the comments. Now, I am willing to talk to somebody. If you want to raise your hand and come up and talk to me for 10 minutes. I have 10 minutes. Theo likes grammar but doesn't want to study it. So, yeah, if you want to raise your hand and come talk to me for 10 minutes, you can. I dance, you dance, he dances. Why? Does he dance more than you and me? Huh? Why 什么你听不懂这个？就是中文是一样的，一样的。我跳舞，你跳舞，他跳舞，就是一样的。我听不懂你的问题。Tell you about the rules and the uses? No, I actually don't do that. I don't teach about grammar very much here. I will explain a few things if you have questions, but I do not teach classes about grammar, because if you want me to teach you grammar, guess what? I don't like grammar either. So if I have to teach grammar, then you have to pay me. If I'm not going to get paid, then I don't want to teach grammar. You're saying to me, oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. Why do we put the S after he, she, or it like it's a plural form? Oh, I see. Oh, so you're confused by that. All right, so that's called subject-verb agreement. Did you study about that, John? Subject-verb agreement? Yeah, that's what that is. And let me try to figure out a way to explain it to you that you'll understand. Let me think for a minute, John. Let me check something. Wait a minute. Yeah, so that's right. That's what I was explaining it pretty much the way. So, right, we add the S to the verbs in the simple present tense when the subject is a third person singular noun. That's he, she, or it, right? So, yeah, I understand why you think it's confusing, but it's not that they're more. It's that you're talking about someone else. So there is more than one person involved when you're talking about he. Because you have to say the he. Right? So when you say he, she, or it, you are involved in that. Right? So that's why it's he is dancing, he dances. Okay? If you say he dance, that's not, it doesn't agree. Because again, there's two people involved here now because it's me talking about you. That's why it's the ES or the S. Okay? I don't know if that's if it's a great explanation or not. But let's see. So, this is something that's left over from a long time ago. There was an older system in English a long time ago where the verbs changed form to agree with different subjects, right? So this is what's left from that. But that's a good example of how English could be updated. This is a good example. This is one example of how English could be updated. Okay? Okay, let's see. Samala. Native speakers don't need to learn grammar, they're born with it. That's not true. No. No. In China, you learn grammar. In America, we learn grammar too. We're not born with it. We have an environment that allows us to learn it faster, just like you have an environment that allows you to learn Chinese grammar faster because you live in it. So you hear it all the time. You see it all the time. So that doesn't mean you don't learn it. We learn it. We learn all the rules in school when we're growing up. Okay? Okay, if you want to come on stage, you must have a question. Okay? You must have a question if you want to come on stage. I don't just invite people on stage to be like, hey, what's up? This is my time. My time is valuable. Have a question. But I think it's weird. Yeah, but John, when I learned Chinese, there are a lot of things in Chinese that I think are weird too. You know? Well, when I learned Chinese, I had to learn the opposite thing, right? So when I teach English, I often have to tell my Chinese students 这是很多的还是一个 And they'll say, oh, 这是很多的 And then I say, oh, 我需要用什么后面你需要用什么 Oh, 需要用 S Right? Right? So I have to teach about that. I had to learn about it myself in the opposite direction. Okay? Let's see. Grammar can be learned by grammar books, but with a teacher, the best to learn is speaking, or listening and speaking. Right. Again, grammar can be learned many, many ways, but it's a combination of self-learning, and if you have a good teacher, that helps. Okay? When you can't understand something, teachers told us to read it more and more. The more we read, the better we've got a feel for the language. Well, that's kind of true. Yeah, of course. I do recommend that you read. Because to get a feel for the language, you have to spend time with the language. So how many ways can you spend time with English? You can speak it. That's one way to spend time with English. You can read it. That's another way to spend time with English. You can listen to it. That's another way to spend time with English, right? You can read it, write it, listen to it, speak it. You can think it. Okay? There are many ways to spend time with English. You can study grammar. That's another way to spend time with English. You can study vocabulary. That's another way to spend time with English. You can focus on and work on your pronunciation. That's another way to spend time with English. So the point is, what? What is my point? What words did I keep saying over and over? You must do what? You must do what? You must spend time. Not just thinking. Thinking is what I always talk about, because I think thinking is the most important one. But there are 8 ways that you can spend time with English. I gave you them. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. Those are the 8 ways that you can spend time with English. And if you spend more time with English doing those 8 things than everyone else, your English will be better than everyone else. Okay? But I think for English it's much simpler than the others. Roman language for the inflections, verbs, and nouns. You mean for like Spanish and Italian and languages like that? Is that what you're talking about? Well, yeah, right? There are lots of conjugations in those languages. Those are Romance languages, Latin languages, right? So Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Romanian, those languages all come from Latin, and Latin has lots of conjugations, right? Agricola, agricolarum. It's all this, like, there's so many different conjugations of the verbs. It's so difficult. But English has a different kind of difficulty because English has influences from so many languages. We have a mix of rules from so many different places, and that makes it a little bit complicated too. Okay? All right. I think I need to go here in just a minute because I have a private lesson. I'm going to try to answer just a couple more questions. Okay? And if you are mad at me because I don't talk to people on stage, then I'm sorry. Sometimes I talk to people on stage, sometimes I don't. You know? But I think it's weird when people just come in and be like, hey, put me on stage. Whatever happened to hi? Whatever happened to hello? Whatever happened to nice to meet you? Whatever happened to listening first and speaking second? It's much easier than French grammar and conjugation, right? 40% and 60% practice. Yeah, the theory and practice idea. Yeah, that's one way to think about it. Sure. Is there a good expression or sentence with being? I'm not sure I understand your question, Haley. I would say with being. Where did you see that, Haley? I can imagine a way to say that. Like I would say with being an American, there are some things you have to remember. I would say with being a Korean, there are some things you must remember. So I would say with being something that you are, a quality that you are, being like an American, a Korean, or I would say with being tall, some things are easier for you. I would say that with being short, some things are harder for you, right? So that's one way I could imagine using I would say with being. Okay, my student is just about here, so the best way to learn English is not any way, Norman, every way. There's a big difference between any way and every way. Any way means you choose one and you do that and that's fine. No, every way means you figure out all the ways that can be used and you do all of them. So remember, that's a very important part. The best way to learn English is every way, not just any way. Okay? Thank you very much. You think she means being with? Okay, well, if it's being with, then I like being with this person. That means you like spending time with that. Being a good person. It's a form of is, Haley. So it's just another way to say is. If I say, let me try to give you one example and then I have to go. Let's see. If I say, do you think you should be a good person? Do you think you should be a good person? If you say yes, then I can say, you think being a good person is important. You think being a good person is important. Do you think it's important to be a good person? I think being a good person is important. So it's a gerund. ING is a gerund. So it means it's the current form that's happening now. Okay, it's still happening. It's being. Okay? Like walk and walking. Walking is still happening, right? Run and running, go and going, to be, being. Okay? You understand now? Good, I'm glad. You recommend reading a question when I read English books. I realize I don't know many words. Would you recommend I look up every word in the dictionary? No. Jose, I think that here's what I say. There are many kinds of reading that you can do. People often think that you should just read books. Books are good, but there are lots of kinds of reading. And when you're learning a new language, I think it's better to try not to read books, but to read short stories, right? So if you go to my website, again, here's my website. If you go to my website, whoops, not that one, this one. Go to my website and you will find a lot of links, okay, for reading sites, lots of pages, like lots of websites that have reading, short reading of every level for beginners, children, babies, all the way to adults, okay? And they're short. So if you have 5 new words in that, it's okay because it's short, okay? But when you're reading a book, you need to choose the right level of book. You need a book that's not too difficult, because if it is, then yeah, you're going to have to stop every minute to look up a new word. So choose a book that maybe one page has maybe 3 to 5 new words on it. But if one page has more than 10 words on it that are new for you, that's too much, man. Every page has 10 new words. You're never going to finish that book. It's going to be too hard for you to get through. Okay? So, if you're reading books, the level that's good for you is if one page has 3 to 5 new words, you're doing well. Okay? If you're reading short stories, do anything you want. Okay? Go to eslfast.com. That's one free website that has lots of easy, short reading. Okay? All right, I must go. If you didn't follow me already, follow me. My name is Teacher Mark. Here is my website. Here is my YouTube. Here is my blog. I am a teacher. It's my job. This is what I do. I'll be back tomorrow. So come back and see me tomorrow for another stream. Okay? About 84,000 people follow me on Hello Talk because they think I'm helpful. Okay? So come back and see me again next time. Why didn't I turn on the transcript tonight, teacher? So Theo, I don't have control about that, and I just noticed that. Yeah, look at that. The subtitles are not working today. How about that? I just noticed that. That's not me. That's Hello Talk. Must be some problem with Hello Talk that they don't have the subtitles working today. I will tell them about it and see if they can fix it. Okay? So, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, and I will see you guys next time.